At least 12 people were killed and dozens more were wounded in an attack on Zaporizhia last night. That's according to a Ukrainian official. Authorities actually revised the death toll down. Earlier, they said 17 had been killed. Ukraine's Air Force says the city was hit by 6 Russian cruise missiles and 16 anti-aircraft missiles.
The attack comes just a day after a massive explosion damaged the only bridge linking Crimea, occupied by the Russians, and the Russian mainland. Russian officials say at least 3 people were killed in that blast, and satellite images show the bridge before and after. Ukrainian officials celebrated the explosion without directly claiming responsibility. Let's get the latest now from Ukraine. CNN international correspondent Frederick Pleiken joining us now live from Kyiv. Hi there, Fred. So what's the latest happening in Zaporizhia?
Hi there, Amber. Well, still a devastating scene. You just mentioned the fact that the Ukrainians have now revised the death toll down to 12. However, they did revise up the amount of people who were wounded in that attack up to over 80. And if you look at some of the images coming out of Zaporizhia, we can clearly see why. It was residential buildings, apparently, that were hit, big old Soviet era residential buildings. A lot of people, a lot of families live in those buildings. And, you know, these images are coming from overnight, in the overnight hours, and you can see some of the fires around those buildings. The Ukrainians actually saying that some of those cruise missiles that were actually launched from strategic bombers. So you can see just how big some of the ordnance is that the Russians fired at that city. At the same time, Russians still trying to get behind what happened to the Crimean Bridge and also working overtime to get it up and running again. They do say that there is a trickle of traffic coming across that bridge, but of course it remains a bottleneck, and with that, a big headache for Vladimir Putin as well. Here's what we're learning. A devastating blow to Vladimir Putin's war effort in Ukraine, both strategically